Welcome to Tales from the Script.
Hi, so it's been a while since we recorded today's podcast, but I have a little addendum to add because it is linked to my last podcast. Let's talk about suicide. The girl I did it with, Wahoo, out of the blue reposted the podcast, and she had some things to say. If you've listened to the podcast, you know that you were talking about her feelings of wanting to die by suicide. And today, when we talk to our guest, it also comes up. It's not the whole thing, but it comes up. And I just wanted to read a few tweets that Wahoo wrote today. So she starts by reposting the podcast and saying, in this podcast I did with me, I mentioned going out of my way to find a means to off myself. What I didn't say was that I was on my last dime and I used the little money I had left to find a way out, to the last coin. Money is such a trigger for me, and luck makes me want to seize. In brackets, she wrote, I am seeing how much I equate my worth with my financial capacity and acknowledging how messed up that is. It is a feeling like I'm a failure that gets me to the edge. So much was invested in me, and for what? I walked out of what is considered a stable career. I figured my way out for a while, and then it all came tumbling down. Mwalimu mzima na degree yangu nakosa rent, chakula sometimes. 3 years maisha imekuwa tu survival, hand to mouth, and sometimes sina. So disappointing. I have had a good, steady life in my adulthood, and then that ended. The last 3 years, life has been a series of getting up, dusting myself off, trying again and again and again. Still to find myself in the same place I was last year, 2 years ago, in a Joshua. I wanted to add those tweets because today's episode also talks about that struggle to always just wanting to be okay and not being okay. And I thought it was relevant because I know I've been there. I felt like that. I felt like, wow, I'm struggling so hard. I'm paddling so hard and I'm not moving. I'm not getting anywhere. So I recognize the feeling, and so I just wanted to add it here because I know that some of you also have gone through this, and sometimes knowing that you're not alone is enough. It's enough to give you, to cancel out the 13th reason. So let's proceed to the podcast. Hi guys, so today we have the guest, like the one that got away, the elusive one, the one and only Christopher Charles Lawanga. Say hello to the peoples.
Hello.
Yeah, he decides to get monosyllabic as soon as it's just like not a good idea.
I didn't say it wasn't a good idea. You told me to say hello, I said hello.
See, it gets really combative around here. So, I don't know what we're talking about today. We're just gonna see what happens. But let's start with introduction.
We don't have anything to talk about.
Let's start with introductions. Christopher, please introduce yourself. Who are you? Why are you here?
Hello everybody again. My name is Christopher. I'm here because I was asked to be here. And willingly, she's not holding a gun to my head right now. Blink twice if. My eyes are fluttering right now. I guess I'm here because I don't know. Why am I here?
Well, personally, I thought we could talk about being a young, aspiring professional in this fireplace of a country. And how has that been as compared to me being an old, aspiring professional in this fireplace of a country? So, let's start with the big one. How has it been finding gigs, doing work? How's the general atmosphere? Are you paid immediately, or do you have to wait 6 months and call in twice a week? What has been your experience as a young entrepreneur? And tell the people what you do exactly.
I'm a videographer. I want to be a cinematographer. I'm trying to be. It's been interesting, I guess. Tough, very tough. Working with, in my line of work, a lot of times you're working with individuals before you work with organizations. Everything is like a relationship thing, which sucks because you're not really judged on your merits. You're more so, if you're getting jobs, it's because someone, But as far as how it's been,
I want to interrupt.
I'm probably the worst person to ask because I enjoy the suffering, if that makes sense. I dropped out of architecture to do this. So, as far as architecture, it felt like in school when they ask you, in primary school or whatever, when they ask you, what do you want to be, and you go, doctor, what, So, architecture kind of felt like that for me. It felt like the right answer per se. When someone asked me, it felt like I was doing an exam and I was answering based on the exam, but it
It's like there was choice A, B, C, D.
Yeah, exactly. It was like there was choice A, B, C, D, and I had to choose one.
And your actual interests are not part of the choice.
Exactly. Yeah. So, while I was in uni, I guess, is where like this whole passion for cinematography started. But no, I wouldn't say started that, because I was always interested in like making videos. You know, I'm a tablet baby, so YouTube is YouTube is everything to me. So
And you were really interested in taking pictures of yourself.
yeah, I did. I was obsessed with myself. Still am. Yeah, I actually did encourage. I used to make my mom take photos of me all the fucking time. It's probably what got me through quarantine, to be honest. But it was that. Like that was probably the first time I expressed my interest in cinematography, photography, videography, outwardly for the first time ever. Because I think that's when I even did like a photo shoot at that point. It turned out really good. Like those moments when like I was just getting my mom to take photos of me was like it got my blood like rushing, if that makes sense. Like it was like I was on a high or something, like runner's high or something, like genuinely just like so engulfed in the details of what we were doing. Like I think I used to make her take like 30 photos of the same pose, because she'd take a photo and I focus on one thing, and I guess I'm a perfectionist in that sense, but it wasn't even, I didn't even realize that I was so focused on the details whilst I was doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It felt almost like just muscle memory, like I was just doing. That's how much I'd fallen in love with it. Like it was like you were training for this thing all your life. Like you were just like, and you finally got to do it. And it's like all of that you had prepared for was just like muscle memory. Like it was just doing itself,
And the same about writing, like it's not an effort. It's not like, okay, now that I need to sit down on the chair and do the writing.
Exactly.
It's more like even when I'm asleep.
I'm thinking about it, like it's bugging me.
It's at the back of my mind. That story I was writing. What's going to happen next?
You could be doing the most random thing and still find a way to tie it back to how can I apply this in my field, per se. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. As far as, so at that point
how did you learn? How did you learn about videography? What was your process? What did you do when you realized
YouTube University?
This is what I want to do.
YouTube University, Skillshare. Shout out to my parents. Skillshare really helped. Like at that point, I guess this is like quarantine. I'm kind of like a novice. So when I finally did decide to drop out and kind of figure out my next steps, it's a blessing I have the parents that I do. So specifically like my mom, like
everybody knows that I did not make him say that.
Yeah. No, real shit. Like out of I have 3 parents. So out of my 3 parents, initially the other 2 are like, nah. But mom was always like, even whilst I was doing architecture, she could kind of see kuna shida and like she always used to ask me, like, are you okay? Like, you get like, and I don't know why. I just don't know how to ask for help. So I would just say like, yeah, everything is fine. But
why do you think that is? Do you think that's just like a part of your personality?
Yeah, I think it's a people pleasing thing,
like you don't want to bother anyone.
Yeah, like more so I don't want anyone to go out of their way to do something for me, because I then feel like I owe this person. If that makes sense. So even like my dad paid for my fees, I didn't feel like I could say anything because he's going out of his way to pay for my fees. If that makes sense. Like, I didn't want him to feel like he's wasted his money, Does that make sense? Like, I didn't want him to feel that...
You were feeling like people have put all this effort?
Yeah, to get me the architecture thing, yeah. And then me kind of realizing I really don't want to be here, So, for a while I was kind of stuck in this limbo where I want to do this, I can't do this because I have to do this other thing. Then I started drinking a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I started drinking a lot, just an escape, So that's what made me realize I need to stop and do what's best for me. Like, I kind of needed to be selfish, if that makes sense. I needed to stop doing the exam and I needed to walk out the room. If that makes sense. I needed to stop answering the questions being asked by everyone else and start answering the questions that I keep asking myself and pushing aside. Like...
Questions like what?
Like, why am I here?
Why am I doing
this? Why am I doing this shit?
What happens after?
Yeah, what happens if I do decide to quit? Like, what are the consequences? Am I willing to live with the consequences? What's life gonna be like?
What did you visualize?
Yeah. What I visualized was...
You remember when I told
you?
Yeah, when I realized I was pregnant and I had that same...
That's like, prostitute or thief,
What was your visualized?
There was never prostitute or thief for me, to be honest, because I have great parents.
Your mom for granted?
For granted.
Okay, you know what?
I have parents that... no, I have my mom, to be honest with you. I have my mom. And that's what I'm saying, like, I'm super blessed to have what I have. And I know that.
This feels like
so it was like... She is. Like I said in the beginning, like, I've blinked like 5 times and no one has come to help. I knew that I'd have the security of, like, mom. And she was already pushing for, like, you don't want to do this. Like, she was like, what is it you want to do? Like, let's figure it out. Like, she was pushing for me to do what I wanted to do. And I was like, at the time, initially I was kind of like, still like holding back because, everything. And it was just like a really big, scary decision, it felt like. And for me, it was probably scary as fuck also.
Yeah, it was. It was a scary time.
Exactly. So it was that, and coupled with the drinking, was just like, if I keep doing this shit, like, what stops me from being that random dude on the road, like, so drunk, he's falling into puddles, you get? Like, and I actually had one of those conversations with one of my closest friends, shout out to Robin, and we were kind of talking about the same thing, because he also kind of felt the same way. So, and he's the one who actually asked me that question, and I was just like, I could end up a miserable old drunk regardless, but I'd rather be a happy one, a happy old drunk than a miserable old drunk.
Is a drunk like a man?
No, it's not a must. And you know how long I've been. I don't drink as much anymore, guys. But it's like I wanted better for myself, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like if I could have continued I could have stayed in that course, passed whatever, like gone to school, done all that. But I would be so drunk all the time just because I'm constantly looking for an escape, And like some of the things I've seen, alcohol isn't as bad as everything else, And if I was miserable, what would have stopped me from going down the road of everything else, Like, I wanted to kill myself at one point, so, and I was like this close, like standing over a bridge.
What stopped you?
Robin called me to go drink.
So you said, let me just drink, and then I'll be drunk.
Yeah.
Then I'll kill myself, or postpone it forever?
No, it's just like we can think about it tomorrow. For now, let me just go get drunk, And
on a scale of 1 to 20, what would have been your scale of misery
at that time?
Yeah.
Mind you, this is like I was still doing architecture for context. I was living with my dad. It was like isolated, like a really isolated space. So everyone that I knew before, I didn't have around me much anymore. Misery, I was probably at like a 25.
On a scale of 1 to 20, you
Yeah.
have 25. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But when Robin called me, and I went and we hung out, it was his birthday, and it was just me, him, and our other friend called Remiru. And we had gone to see Robin, and we had like pilau for cake. And we just...
Whose birthday was it?
It was Robin's birthday.
No.
And we were so drunk, like so drunk. And we were listening to, I can't remember whose album it was. I think it was Young Thug's, was it called So Much Fun? The one with...
I don't know.
Actually, he only has one studio album. So...
If you say so.
So for your listeners, hopefully, if you want to listen to it, it's the one album he has, because everything else is an EP.
Okay.
And we were just like jumping around like almost all night, and I just remember thinking like there are so many reasons to die, but there are so many more reasons to live.
Young Thug's next album.
Definitely.
I mean, seriously.
It did live up to the exactly, like, it's because at the end of the day it's the small things.
Yeah.
So it was like there was this like one moment where it felt like an out of body experience where I'm watching the three of us. It's like a small chain because we have our hands on each other's shoulders, and we're just like jumping around and rapping this Young Thug album. And it's if euphoria was a moment in time, that's what it felt like. And yeah, it just kind of reminded me that so many more reasons to live. So after that, the question was, how is this business space? And I'm one of those people that, like, I tell like 5 stories.
The whole story.
I tell 5 stories inside of the main story.
Unprovoked, by the way. Unprovoked.
So, yeah, found reasons to live, and one of those reasons was cinematography. Honestly, like, literally brought me back to life. That's what it feels like. And every time I go out and I work, like, it may be like the smallest project ever. Like 3 people may see it, but it makes me so excited to go and do it again. Like, to do it one time makes me want to do it 2 times, makes me want to do it 3 times. Every time I go work, it makes me want to work some more. It's just that enjoyable. So that's why I was saying that I'm probably the worst person to ask about the workspace, because most people want instant fame, whatever. Like, you want to go viral instantly. You want your first movie to be a Netflix movie. No one wants to start on Tubi.
Me, I'm ready.
No.
Look, me.
I feel you.
Let me tell you. Okay. I didn't really expect anyone at all to read my first book. It was just writing this because this story wants to be written. But I didn't, like, every writer, every reader, even right now, 10 years later, every reader is still a gift, And it's not about being a New York Times best-selling author, but it also is. It's about writing the stories.
It's about the story.
Yeah, it's about the stories and having the stories out there in the world. And when I think about somebody going to Nuria's store and just picking my book and saying, yeah, I'll take it. It's like so exciting. It's still exciting to this day. So I can understand how you're enjoying the grind because you're enjoying the creation.
Exactly.
The creation of the work.
I'm writing my story right now,
Yeah.
So I really enjoy
but I'm sure you don't enjoy it like when you do the work and then you have to wait how long, however. What's the longest you have to wait to be paid?
Wait to be paid, guy.
Or is it like one of those
3-4 months.
3-4 months.
Yeah. I think that was the longest. No. There's one which I haven't been paid for right now. It's been like 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 6 months. Because we're in the 4th month right now.
Yeah,
about 6 months. Maybe slightly longer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that case? Do you just continue?
I mean, obviously constantly putting pressure, because what else can I do? But I just have to keep on working, to be honest with you. Like, I just have to keep on, because thing is, if he doesn't have the money, he's not gonna pay me. Again, like, the money he's not gonna go pick it off a tree. You know, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. And I can't control him not having it, because I also exist in this economy. I know how fucked up shit is. So when it comes to the payments thing, I know I should be more. I guess I should be more strict, whatever. Like,
do you find yourself
pay me right now.
overly understanding?
But that's the thing. There's no such thing as overly understanding. You can't understand something more than.
You can't understand.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no more information to understand. You get like, you understand something based off the information you receive. You know? So if you have this information, understanding it to its fullest isn't you can't over understand.
Okay, but when you say, like, okay, so this guy doesn't have money, that's why not paying. What if he has money and he's still not paying?
The police.
Okay. So let's move on.
Yeah. I know like, the police probably the worst people to trust, but you could easily take a motherfucker to court.
Yeah. Small claims court.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's there are things there are patterns you can see, and you can tell, okay, this motherfucker is playing with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to see a scumbag, especially when you've been on.
When you've been on.
You're listening to Tales from the Script with Anne-Marie Musawale. Yeah. Sorry, my train of thought
has gone off.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask a question, maybe.
I think, my train of thought has gone back. The question was, how have I found working? So, like I said in the beginning, a lot of the work I do, you more so work with individuals more than corporations. So it's difficult because in individuals, there's personality to it. There's politics. You know, like a lot of the way your work goes depends on the character of this person you're working with. So I've met a lot of dickheads, but I've also met a lot of really nice people. And I think in order to do what I do, you really have to be able to understand that a lot of times you can learn more by keeping quiet and listening rather than trying to impose yourself, because it's stressful having to deal with people's egos while trying to create, because it's like you're babysitting someone and at the same time trying to create this piece of art. So
reminds me of working with some white women, especially American white women. In addition to writing the story, you also have to mollycoddle the client and Yes, yes, yes. It's not you who did not give me the right instructions. I'm the one who misunderstood. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
And like it
So,
can get tiring.
especially with artists, the thing is, a lot of artists are very self-centered, like are very engulfed in their art. So, um, you when you spend a lot of time with your art, truly you understand it truly, but sometimes in order to translate it to other people, you have to see it from their perspective also. So, for example, if you if you ask me to convert your book into a movie, you know.
Yeah.
So I've read your book and I formulate my opinion. Then
What? You read my book?
Listen.
Okay, continue.
So then you create like in order for us to make the movie, I then have to create.
You have to convert it
into an image now. So no.
A script.
Yeah, not just a script, but now the visual part of it.
Yeah.
So how I envision it probably isn't the way the writer envisioned it.
Yep.
So the art is if that person, especially the difficulty in creating the art is right there, the gray area between my perspective on the book and your perspective of the book. That's the gray area where the art is gonna be created. Okay, so I need you to translate your imagery for me, Sindio. But I also need you to understand that
it won't be exact.
Exactly, like it's I've also formulated an idea opinion, based on, or rather I have my own perspective on what it should be, or you get, like my vision, especially with a book, if your book is immersive, there's a lot of imagery going on in your head, so there's your imagery and there's my imagery.
I'm just thinking right now of Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
Because what you're saying about the writer versus
the series
script
itself.
Yeah.
So
there's that translation.
So the art is in the gray area.
Yeah, the art comes out in the gray area between.
You can see
where you've taken what Anne Rice did,
and now you
have added your own special sauce, and you have produced something that is elevated.
Yeah. It makes it better.
Yeah.
Because that's why most times you'll say the book is better than the movie, because a lot of times the movie people don't really understand the writer's perspective. See, so
or they don't take it into account.
Yeah. So, and that's why I say, in this field, I think it's better to listen rather than impose your will, because I have my own things that I write and I create. Cool, that's mine. I can do whatever I want to do with that. But when it comes to working with someone, you're helping them create something.
Yeah.
You get?
Like, you're bringing their vision
into life. Yeah. I come secondary now.
Yeah.
So I have to listen and then I have to help him.
Yeah.
Like him or her, they, whatever. Push them like, okay, here, you see, like I see what you're trying to say, I hear you.
But it won't work in this medium.
Not even it won't work. Here, I have this idea. I think if we combine it exactly, So I found that it's easier. But you also have to speak up for yourself. Because niggas is evil, I'm saying, as in a nigga will use you easily and discard you. You know? So even whilst you're listening, don't just listen like in order to create this person, like listen in order to learn about this person. You get? Like, especially if it's an individual, like listen to the things he's saying, the words he's using, so that you can get to know this person, just so you can protect yourself. You get? Like, those red flags, don't paint them orange. Like, take heed, especially in my industry per se, because niggas is evil. It's an evil world we live in, you know. So
I mean, niggas is evil everywhere.
Yeah, like you have to protect yourself. You have to, when they say you need to keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer, it's so you can gain information. And the best way to gain information is by listening. But the best way to protect yourself is by speaking out. So once you're done listening, you have enough information to speak out eloquently. You know, you're not just saying things, you've taken heed of all the information the environment is providing you. You know, you've listened to the cameraman, you've listened to the producer, you've listened to the makeup artist, you've listened to the artist himself, you've listened to all of it, you know. And you have to be the glue man, especially as the director, you know. So I think I really learned patience, and I think that's the most important thing, the patience. Not only patience for...
But also discernment.
Yeah, but the most important thing is patience. Like, patience and perseverance. Like, a nigga might fuck you over, but you can't let that shit stop you. You can't let it stop your grind. Because at the end of the day, as much as that man is an individual, so are you.
Obviously, yes. And I agree with that. You can't let other people's actions change your course.
Exactly. You know,
you always have to have your own vision of where you're going.
You need to know
and why.
You need to be able to both keep an open mind and somehow still be so focused on your goal that the fact that you're open-minded doesn't lead you to getting lost.
Lead you astray.
Yeah. You know, so especially in this industry, like working with like individuals is so difficult. It's difficult because it's scary. You know, there's some interactions I've had where someone has put up such a facade, so, and you trust this nigga, then a few months later you hear ABCD and you're like, huh? The same ninja. So a lot of times I find myself just kind of flabbergasted, like, what the fuck? You know? And every time I find myself asking myself, what the fuck, I just have to remember I can't control other people. They're individuals at the end of the day. And
you can only control what you do.
Yeah, I can only control me. So I have to seek accountability for myself. I have to keep myself in check. I have to be my own parent. You know, like I have to be my own supervisor. You know, so the best way I've found to, like, especially for your mental health, sometimes just keeping quiet. Yeah. not keeping quiet about certain things. I mean, keeping quiet, like listening. I found that you can really protect yourself if you, because you already know everything, you know. And one thing that will always be the truth. The truth will always be the truth, you know.
But still, even with the most vigilance,
yeah, you can.
People will still surprise you.
True.
And you always have to leave that little room to be surprised.
You can never truly know someone.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
You know, because
even them themselves probably don't know themselves 100%.
Yeah. But like that nigga is still an individual. Like there's time he spends alone in his room.
Yeah.
There's time he spends alone in his car. You get, like, there are a lot of times this person isn't around anyone else. It's just by themselves. And that person, you can never know that person. That individual when he's by himself. Because when he's by himself is when, you know, the creepy crawlies come out.
That niggas.
But some about this industry, man, I fucking love it. I love creativity. I've learned how to separate in artists from their artistry. Because I think something people do.
Evidenced by still having Kanye in your playlists.
Okay. let's not get into Kanye.
Okay. Fine.
We both agree he's a dickhead.
Yes.
We both agree he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
But he still makes, sonically, he's still one of the greatest actors.
Okay, continue.
You can't deny it. I'm sorry. He produced your favorite artist. Yeah.
A lot of people produce my favorite artists. A lot of people.
Including Kanye. Yeah. So chill. So that's an example of it. Like, you see Kanye and you think dickhead, obviously, Cinderella, and then you discard him. Cool. But as an artist, Cinderella, you go to Kanye as, I want to learn how to make beats. No. I'm not here for a character, I'm not here for a character enhancement or, I'm here for the music. Cinderella. You learn a lot. Easily, you learn a lot. So, he's still a dickhead. But he's a smart dickhead. That's the thing. You still learn a lot.
So you want to utilize the knowledge that the dickhead has.
Exactly.
For your own advantage.
Because, here's the thing. I genuinely think if you formulate your personality out of another nigga, that's lame. That is so lame. Like, if you, let's say, I got a tattoo. Not even a tattoo. No, I want something more character based. Like, I'm not gonna get married because whoever didn't get married, you get.
Is that character based?
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be an asshole because Kanye is an asshole.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
I'm
gonna Andrew Kibe stroke.
Exactly, Andrew Tate type.
I'm gonna adopt that personality.
That personality, exactly. Adopting someone's personality who you've never met, like.
And you only know what he says.
What he's saying to you.
You
don't know what he does. You only know what he's saying to you. You know. So, I think basing your personality off shit like that is just like dumb as hell. But I used to have this deputy teacher who I used to hate, but he said one thing that, take the sense from the nonsense. You get? Even that nigga, even Andrew Tate, there are things he'll say that you could incorporate into your life and you would
a broken clock is right
twice, exactly. You see? So if I don't discard him, so no, he remains the individual he is. I remain the individual I am. So no, I've listened to you, but I've not adopted it. I'm not sheep. I'm not just gonna adopt something just because you say it. So no, but like some of the things he says is like the working out things. So no, that's healthy. Working out is healthy. So no, so that's you get. That's something you can pick out of the broken clock being syndrome. So when I think about us dickheads, I think about it like that. Like art and artistry. You get like.
And anyway, you can't really know who is really a dickhead and who isn't, because you have people who are known dickheads, and those ones are easy to identify. And then you have just other people, and you don't know their lives. You don't know their lives.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing with any person. Like, I'm never going to walk in your shoes. Like, your consciousness will always be you'll always be Anne-Marie Musawale. There'll never be another nigga born that could ever be Anne-Marie Musawale.
Definitely.
You get like.
It's true though.
No.
I know what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, your consciousness will always be your consciousness. Like.
Yeah.
So, when I think of like,
I think my soul.
Your soul is your soul.
Yeah.
So, and that can never be replicated.
Yeah.
So even like with these decades, there are things to learn from. Like, you may call him whatever you want to call him, but trust me, you and him still have similarities. And that similarity is so glaringly obvious. You're all human beings. Like, if you lived that other person's circumstances, you could have easily been that person. You get? So I kind of have to afford you that grace of like,
I don't know your life.
I don't know your life. Yeah, like I don't know how you live. I don't know what you be. You get? So it's not up to me to judge your life. You get?
So taking this back to the whole working with artists thing.
So that's how I treat it now. It's not up to me to judge your. Obviously, the red flags. If I see a red flag, so no. Because if I'm working with you, then it's not just about the artistry. You get? Like, we have to work in the same workspace now. You see? And if you're being a dickhead in the workspace, we can't work in this space.
Is it only, we can't work, or is there a way that you can say, like...
Obviously, if you can like, talk to them...
is there another option?
Yeah, that's obviously option one. Like, let's talk about it. No. But if we talk about it, then now it becomes an ego thing now, where you don't want to listen out to the rest of us in this workspace. See, that's the barrier with artists, the self-centeredness. Like,
I don't think it's an artist thing. Like, toxic workplaces are in every industry.
No, true, yeah, true. There's always a dick measuring contest,
Yeah.
And I really hate that.
Yeah, that's why I left the whole corporate shit, because
exactly.
I'm not built for it, and I don't know how to navigate that whole.
So the advantage in the corporate setting is both the advantage and disadvantage.
A salary at the end of the month.
No. They know what they want.
Okay.
Yeah, like.
Allegedly. Mm-hmm.
No, they do know what they want. They know which image they want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
So that's easy because it's the same thing they've been doing for like hundreds of years. So the examples are laid bare. So
it's not a lot of thinking.
It's not a lot of thinking. No. But that's also the bad thing about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a creative.
That sounds horrifying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I say it's both the best and worst thing about it. You see? So, because you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to deviate from the norm.
You're not allowed to create.
You have to follow this path.
You have a set number of rules, and you can't step outside that set number.
Yeah.
You know. That's both the good and the bad. See. But as far as like working on like music videos, I found it really difficult. Just that's the most difficult part probably about my industry is dealing with individuals, dealing with egos now. See, I have to deal with Kanye, you know.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Not that I don't say I have to deal with Kanye, but
it's a metaphor.
Metaphorically, yeah.
It is a metaphor, guys. It doesn't mean that you guys are Kanye.
I love Kanye. The artist, not the human being. But that's the thing, like
I'm giving him a very bombastic side eye right now.
Okay. But that's the thing though, like it's not up to me. It's easy for me to say I don't like you. No.
Is it though?
It is. I don't like Kanye the human being. But I can learn a lot from Kanye the human being as well as Kanye the artist. Because Kanye the human being, I mean, his disregard for certain human life is what I don't like. But here's the thing, Kanye is a human being like all of us. Like, we also have the potential to all be Kanye's. That's the thing. We just haven't lived his circumstances, his environment, whatever, his life. So knowing that you have, it's like knowing that there's a potential for a problem. Like,
it's like saying, there, by the grace of God, go I.
What is it called?
What is that? No, that's
what is it called? What Artistella does?
Risk management.
Risk management, exactly. So, risk management, you use statistics to estimate the probability of certain risks happening.
Yeah.
So, in that same breath, there's a risk of you being Kanye, the human. You get? Like it just takes the circumstances to mirror Kanye's circumstances, and boom. You get? Like you grow up in his environment, you do all that. Because statistically, we're 8 billion people, so statistically 2 or 3 people have lived a life similar to yours, kind of. Maybe now in a different state, country, whatever, different physical environment, but the type of people, the school experience, the experiences could be mirrored. Just statistically, it's possible. You get?
Okay.
So you could mirror Kanye's experiences and not be Kanye.
Yes.
Or you could mirror Kanye's experiences and be Kanye. Senor. So knowing those are 2 risks. Senor. So it's a probability. Senor. So what I can learn from Kanye is if I see his experiences mirrored, I can learn how to treat him different so that we don't end up with Kanye, You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Oh, but I have to disagree with the concept that if you treat people differently, then they won't end up a certain way. Because you can have two people who are like mirror images, they have the same life, they grew up in the same, like let's say you've watched Harry Potter, I've read Harry Potter. So take Harry Potter and Tom Riddle.
It's not the same.
They were both orphans.
It's not the same.
They were both orphans. They both grew up mistreated by their parents. They both had power that other people didn't have.
It's not the same because the people aren't the same.
Yeah.
The people around him aren't the same. You get, like, the people around him are the environment. The environment isn't this house. The environment is the people in this house.
Yeah.
You get?
So both people grew up with people who were not.
But not the same people.
So then your argument breaks down if it has to be exactly the same people.
Exactly, that's what a mirror does.
But
it mirrors the exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's not the same people. Even if you're saying your situation mirrors my situation.
My situation doesn't mirror your situation. Like, in order to create another Kanye, you have to have everything exactly the same. Same kind of parents, same kind of...
So you're saying like, in order to create another Kanye, you have to be Kanye?
No, not Kanye himself, but the people around Kanye have to exist in order to create another Kanye. Do you understand what I'm saying? The environment isn't the location, it's the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the people around Harry Potter and the people around Tom Riddle.
Is a murderer the same as
I'm talking about when Tom Riddle was a child.
Is a murderer the same as an arsonist?
Like not before he became Voldemort.
Are they the same? Yeah, I know. Are they the same?
A murderer and an arsonist.
Yeah, are they the same?
Are there people who are in the house that the arsonist burned?
He just burned down a house. Are they the same?
No.
No, they're not. Sindio. But they're both dickheads.
Yeah.
Sindio. So it's not the same kind of dickhead. You get what I'm saying? You can't mirror something with like an example of. You have to mirror something with the exact of. Okay, Tom Riddle grew up in an orphanage, one. Okay. Who was the dickhead that was dickheading him in the orphanage?
His fellow orphans.
Who were terrified of him. He bullied them.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Harry Potter was bullied.
True. Which speaks more to nature versus nurture?
It's nurture. I think nurture is
both
more
orphans?
important. Nurture is exactly, that's what I'm saying. Nurture is more important because you're nurtured by people, not by things. That's what I'm saying. The environment isn't the place, it's the people. The people. So you can't create another Kanye without the people around him, not the spaces. The people. You get?
Anyway, we're getting off topic. Can we go back?
The topic was what I was saying is you learn more by keeping quiet and listening rather than speaking. So even a dickhead like Kanye, you can learn a lot from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got that point.
That's what I'm saying.
We got that point.
I'm saying that even though he's a dickhead, you shouldn't discard him just because there's a lot of information you could gain from him. That's what I mean.
Don't throw the baby out to the bathwater.
Exactly. Like me. Kanye is a dickhead, and it's easy to, it's easy to reach that conclusion, Sindio. Mm-hmm. But Kanye is also one of the greatest artists of all time.
You say so.
Whether you like it or not, okay.
I said if you
we
say
have
so.
that Love Lockdown song on CD from 15 years ago. So don't even play that game. I lived in the house with you singing Kanye songs. Okay. That old Kanye is still Kanye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he's not Kanye.
How is he not Kanye?
Because we are not
Did
who
Kanye jump
we
out
were.
of did Kanye jump out of Kanye and leave?
Are you the same person you were in 2020?
No, but do I retain that information?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you're not the same person.
But I still retain that information.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you're not the same person.
I'm not the same person, sure, but I still retain that information. Where else would you go to get that information? Who else has it? I do. Also, Kanye still resides within Kanye. Exactly. You can't. It's like what? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, treat him as a resource. Then, if you can't see beyond Kanye the dickhead, treat him as a thing. Then, okay, it's having a book to use. Okay, a book has how many chapters? 25. Sindio, is chapter 1 irrelevant because you've reached chapter 25?
No.
It's not. Sindio? Exactly. There's still so much you can learn from Kanye, even though Kanye is a dickhead. If you know how to listen and comprehend, you can
not judge.
You can easily separate. Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize.
That one. Kiingereza ikuja na mili. Judge. But you can easily that one.
Compartmentalize.
That one. That one is long.
I guess.
You can easily do that, and like I have Kanye chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter. You get. That's it. Kanye is a human being, and you have the potential to be Kanye. So I find it to be a dickhead move to judge Kanye for going in all that potential, knowing that you also have the potential to go the same direction. You get?
So you relate to him?
No, I don't relate to him. I sympathize with Kanye just trying to be Kanye.
Okay. I think we've talked enough about Kanye, don't
No,
you?
Kanye was just an example. Like, he's the easiest example because he's
an extreme.
Yeah, he took freedom of speech and sprinted with it. Like, he ran off and disappeared with it. You get me? Like,
He removed the filter from his
kabisa,
brain.
Kabisa. You really say alcohol it removes all inhibitions. That's what Kanye has done to his personality.
Personally, I don't care because Kanye does not affect the zeitgeist. He does not affect reality. I am more concerned with people who actually do shit like drop bombs on Gaza and who tear gas school children because of a fucking plane rather than what someone says.
Is that the only reality we live in?
No, we live in like mental people have like the.
So in the artist space, you don't think Kanye has influence?
He definitely has influence.
And what are we talking about?
But my point is that as a human being, what he says with his mouth has limited impact.
I guess, impact-wise. No. Because Hitler started a war with his mouth. He started by doing talks around Germany. And that ended up with World War II.
Very true.
So I can't disregard.
I'm not saying words
the
don't
power
matter.
of- yeah.
I'm not saying words don't matter.
I think his influence is both. It's both ends of the spectrum. Because freedom of speech, woohoo, senior.
But if you
using
look at
that freedom of
if you look
speech,
at Hitler and the way people viewed him at the time, they took him seriously. He was like
people take Kanye seriously.
who takes Kanye seriously?
A lot of people. A lot of people.
I don't know. I find like
This
he's
is
a,
one of
he's a
those
bit
things.
of a like.
This is one of those things where there's your For You page and the rest of the ones For You page. Like, especially in terms of the artistry space, people still love Kanye.
No, I know people still love Kanye. Mostly guys.
Not just guys,
But-
a lot of.
But
You know what? I have an ex.
I'm talking about.
I have an ex who her playlist is still like.
No, I get that. Me, I'm talking about.
In big 2025, how is Kanye your top one in your Spotify raps?
I'm not. Are we judging people Spotify rap?
Yes, because how is Kanye number one?
I don't know. But listening to his music, it's like I told you. Remember that time I told you about how with musicians, what they do does not really affect the music because, like,
So you're saying what Kanye has done has affected his music?
No, I'm saying like what he says, like not his music, what he says.
Yeah.
Is not really taken as something. See, it's like Kanye is crazy. There's a very the perception he's crazy and he's saying crazy shit. No one is listening to what he's saying and saying, okay, I'm taking that seriously.
Do you think Trump? You do the same for Trump?
I would have done the same for Trump before.
How many people follow Trump?
But you see, what changed was that with his appealing to racists, people started to take him seriously. So it wasn't him that people take seriously. It was what he represented as a conduit for white supremacy to ascend after Obama was president. Because apparently Obama being president was the scariest shit that has ever happened to Americans. So they were just looking for any white supremacist to coalesce around and fight back. And I'm putting quotes
Weren't there other white
to
supremacists
fight
at the
back.
time?
There was nobody who was as loud and vocal as him. People were still pretending, oh, I would have voted for Obama for a third term. People are very get out, you know. So people are pretending, and by people I mean white people. So for
Black
Trump,
people voted for Trump too.
for Trump, you're talking in the 90th percentile of black people did not vote for him.
Still black people.
So there was some like 10%, and
2%
always.
is a lot of people.
And my point is that there's always some dumbasses and some coons and etc. who do stupid shit, and you cannot like.
That's still Trump's influence.
It's not Trump's influence because they already had that shit in them. It was just that
It was
he
in them. He influenced it out of them.
They were able to say, "Oh, phew."
He was like, "Oh,
some public guy is saying what I'm thinking."
So he influenced them to be more outward with it.
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly, still influence.
But with Kanye, it's not that. It's just very.
People still in the artistry space. People want to sound like Kanye. You get me, like. Especially since he birthed Playboy Carti.
Again, it's not about his music.
Mom, we're talking about artistry. I'm not talking about his part. I keep telling you, I'm not here to judge his personality.
So,
Artist and art.
yes.
His art still has influence.
Yes, I agree with that.
His personality
Is not taken seriously.
by you and your feed, sure. But there are people who take Kanye seriously, people who take Andrew Tate seriously, there are people who take Andrew Pinde seriously. There are people who are genuinely influenced by those people. It may not, you see, you're doing that thing, you're basing it off yourself. You're doing the ego thing. Okay, step out of it. Okay, not you, not me. Okay, think of the other 8 billion people on the planet. Kanye still has influence.
Anyway, would you say that you're done, or is there anything else that you would like to say, not involving Kanye?
I don't know. This has been too long.
You're the one who wanted to do 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and you're the one who has talked for 45.
Jesus. I want to say that we listen and we don't judge. Seriously, like.
Are we still talking about Kanye?
You brought up Kanye. Yeah, get that nigga out of your head.
Okay, continue.
I want to say, especially with creating something, the moment you start to judge things or other people, you've already lost, because you're choosing, it's like you're blocking blessings. And there's definitely a line between what to judge and what not to judge. I mean, create your own red flags, and if those red flags are triggered, be strong enough to step away, but also be strong enough to give grace, because it's really hard to give grace. It's really hard. Take the high road. I mean, and trust me, I love being petty. Like, love it, genuinely, love it. But give grace. Allow people to fuck up and try again. Yeah. Be patient with people. You just never know people fully. So just be patient. But keep your red flags, please. But don't let those red flags be damn shit. Okay, give grace, but with like caution. How did you say it? Like, keep it on a leash. Like, caution. Grace, yes, but like 6 feet. What did they say in COVID? 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart. Yeah. Give grace, but be cautious. Yeah. Because, hey, The cinematography space, snakes on snakes. Snakes on snakes. Sometimes you have to be is it a badger? The one which fights snakes. It can take
no idea.
Then it can take a few bites. You know, like the skin is so thick, the snake can't bite it. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, just be careful. Be careful. Be careful, be gracious, be cautious. Yeah.
That's your advice to aspiring.
Yeah. Anyone trying to work in any artistic space, be cautious, be gracious. Yeah.
Forgive but not forget.
Exactly. No. But apparently trauma is good food for creativity, so
That doesn't mean you should go around collecting trauma.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, just be cautious. Be safe, be cautious, and stay open-minded. Take risks, but also do like safety protocols. Skydive, but with a parachute.
I think that's the whole point.
I mean, like
of skydiving.
Skydiving is the risk, but a parachute is the caution. Yeah.
Okay, so have you experienced trauma?
I thought this was ending.
Just, you brought up trauma, so I have to ask. Would you say you experienced trauma in the artistic space?
In the artistic space? Once or twice. Yeah, once or twice.
Like trauma.
Like, no, not trauma. I wouldn't call it trauma. But I want to say trauma adjacent.
Trauma light.
Yeah. Trauma adjacent. So, yeah. Just be careful of that, man. Just be careful.
Any stories you want to share?
End the podcast.
So I guess that's a no. Anyway, guys. So that was Christopher, totally unprovoked, decided to tell his videographer story. If you don't know Christopher, he's my one and only spawn.
I'm not a spawn. Okay. I'm the parent in the house. Okay. Don't let her let you over here on the internet. Okay. I take care of her. Okay. Not the other way around. It's I take care of her. Okay. Allegedly true.
Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm going to end this before it goes any further.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening. Okay, I just have to put a disclaimer. I was just defending my point. Okay, like I don't love Kanye like that. I promise. Please don't judge me. Please.